Saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman. Pinagmulan at babalikan, konting tiis na lang, at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Sigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
Magandang hapon UK, magandang hapon Europa, magandang gabi po Pilipinas, at kung saan man po kayo naroroon, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ihahatid namin sa inyo ang kwento ng iba-ibang mukha ni Juan sa special program live streaming Konek Kontra Corona here on Facebook and YouTube. Samahan po ninyo kami sa mga natatanging kwento ng mga Pinoy sa Europa na mag-iiwan ng aral, impormasyon, ngiti at pag-asa. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
Ito po ang kwentong Pinoy, kwentong migrante, kwentong Juan, Konek Kontra Corona. I am Jean Alcantara.
For our Contra Corona project for the next 3 months, the National Lottery Community Fund is graciously funding this project to serve the Filipino communities in the UK and beyond. Today is a special public service day. Maliban po sa pagbibigay namin ng impormasyon tungkol sa COVID-19, tulad ng pagbabahagi ng karanasan ng isang padre de pamilya kung paano nila nilabanan ang COVID-19, tututok rin po tayo sa update at relief efforts sa pinakamalakas na bagyo na tumama sa Pilipinas ngayong taon, ang Typhoon Rolly.
For our public service, Konek, we have Tabang Bicol para po kumonekta tayo sa mga kababayan sa Bicol at sa Filipino community dito sa UK. Anong impormasyon at tulong ang pwede natin ibigay sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo? Tingnan po natin mamaya.
Okay, so Tabang Bicol, Jean, yan po ang ating segment 2. Abangan po ng ating mga kababayan sa Bicolandia. Please stay tuned dahil napaka-importante po nitong public service segment natin na ito. But now, we will be joined by a good friend of mine at isa din pong Filipino community leader, ang ating kaibigan Junjun Medran, para po magbahagi ng kanyang karanasan at ang kanyang buong pamilya na kamakailan lang po ay nakipaglaban sa COVID-19. And thankfully, ay nandito siya at malakas na po, naka-recover na. Good afternoon, Junjun! Hi, Junjun!
Hi, good afternoon, Rose, and good afternoon, Jean. Salamat at inimbitahan niyo ako dito sa number 1 show niyo, JUANEUKONEK.
Okay. Salamat. Biglang nawala si Jean. Jean, are you there?
I'm still here.
Jean Alcantara, yes, ayan.
Kumusta,
Connect.
Junjun?
Yes.
Hi, Jean. I'm okay now. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here.
Okay, Jun, full pack ang program natin because after this segment, we have Tabang Bicol para po sa mga kababayan natin sa Bicol. Now tell us, paano nagkaroon ng COVID-19 ang iyong pamilya? So, I would have to give them this information about you. Kayo ay isang self-employed na, dati kayong nurse, pero ang asawa ninyo na si Cindy ay aktibong nurse, no? Pero yung dalawang anak nyo rin ay nagkaroon ng COVID-19.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, we had contracted the dreaded COVID-19 virus sometimes around October. Ito sabi ko kasi UK was on lockdown and the schools were closed, and from that time we were overprotected with our kids, and obviously from that time walang naapektuhan o walang na infect sa virus. And then we were asked by the school to send our kids to school despite na meron sila mga online education. And I resisted so badly na sabi ko hindi pwede kasi mawawala ng sense yung lockdown kung uuwi sila o kaya susunduin namin. Then the stay at home program or yung sinasabing stay at home ng gobyerno is hindi magiging valid kasi lumalabas din kami. So I had no choice, so we had no choice kasi we were threatened with a hefty fine kung hindi namin papapasukin yung mga anak namin. So I let them go to school. And then after actually exactly 2 weeks, Tio came home. That was Thursday at that time, I remember. Came home with a fever. And you know, as parents, you thought that it's just an ordinary fever because the kids can handle this virus very well. They don't possess symptoms. They don't display it. And then the next day, yun na nga, si Cindy nagkaroon ng high fever. And then she got tested the next day and turned out to be positive. So as a parent's reaction is to get him out of the house because I want to separate our excuse me because I still having cough. Separate my kids to who's ever got it, which is Cindy at that time. So we took a shelter in my sister's house, which is just not too far. But the next day we got tested. We submitted ourselves for testing, and turned out to be all 3 of us were positive as well. So all 4 of us were positive with COVID-19. And at the time, parang gumuho yung mundo ko kasi tingin sa inyong kaalaman, at the height of the pandemic, I lost 2 of my cousins. So in this, so it was unfortunate na hindi nila nakayanan yung struggle na to, itong pagsubok na to. So it's a real tragedy. So okay. You really hope that you want what happened to you, and then it happened. So sabi ko, I'm on it, so I have to deal with it. I'm a nurse. We are nurses, so what can we do? So I created my family COVID fight plan na sinasabi ko. Because 4 kami, so easily isa lang pwede kami malagasan. So with all the casualties that you hear in the news all the time, 200,000 or whatsoever, yung one of us can be just a data, yung pwedeng sabihin lang na you lost someone with COVID. So I don't want that to happen. And during this pandemic pala, that what you can really rely on is your hope. You have to make sure that you psychosomatic kasi ako yung approach ko that you have to tell yourselves that you'll be okay. And I know that God never makes mistakes. It was given to us for a reason. It was given for us that I know we can win it. So what we did is to make sure that we are informed of what's happening. We are truly aware that we have it rather than denying that we don't have it. Because andito na rin lang to, that's we deal with it. As you know, I've been a nurse for 28 years. I'm a nurse from the Lung Center of the Philippines and Philippine Heart Center, and 20 years at UK. So why not use the skills and the experiences that you have? Mostly respiratory ang aking designation. So and the COVID-19 mostly ang tinatarget nito is respiratory. So luckily, we were siguro yung strain na tumama sa amin hindi ganun kalakas. Maybe our immune system was enough to fight it or handle that strain. But then again, you have to make sure that you have to have help from outside, because we were contained in a house, 4 of us, for 4 weeks. No other outside forces aside from phone calls and outside deliveries. So later I'll say thanks to all those people. So I was constantly monitored. We were constantly monitored by our friends, especially my good friend who is a IT consultant doctor, who's keeping in touch with me all the time. And I did say that we took a lot of fruits and vitamin C. So basically, these were our routines. So in the morning, we wake up, especially me, I go straight to the shower. I'll to the shower room, and our shower room, obviously, hot shower is very important. Yung tube na sinasabi niya, though it's not proven according to the Department of Health of the Philippines, but some of them. But I always find this really useful because obviously very obvious, or very obvious reasons that people who's got a lung problem always have nebulizers. So that mimics the nebulizer, the steam inhalation. So the best way I can do it is stay inside the shower room with a hot shower on. So the steam I can inhale it, and then I can feel that whatever I have there with the cough or the phlegm and everything gets better because I can expel it, and I can do a lot of back and chest tapping all the time, and then never lie down on the daytime. So that's our rules. So kung magpapahinga ka, dapat nakaupo ka, hindi ka nakahiga, kasi pag humiga ka, ang mangyayari sa iyo is aantukin ka at matutulog ka na naman. So and I know for a fact na kapag stagnant ka at hindi ka gumagalaw, your chest infection will develop into pneumonia, and that would be the end of it, because pneumonia will will kill you. So that's the one that we were preventing, yung magkaroon kami ng pneumonia. Luckily though, my two kids haven't had didn't have those symptoms. Wala silang chest problems at that time, but only coughs and fever. So it was me and Cindy who had this horrible chest pain, back pain, a very bad cough, and worst thing is that you don't have taste, no sense of taste, no sense of smell. So the food that we were given or we prepared doesn't attract us at all. So you lose weight. So meaning that if you don't eat, your body defense will go down. Your immune system will deteriorate, and meaning I am letting COVID-19 invade my body and kill me. So I'm not letting that, because another thing is that take a lot of water. You hydrate because you perspire because of fever. You lose a lot of water, and then obviously it cleanses your body as well. So I was able to use what I have experienced and what I have gained for being a nurse for 28 years. So mostly that, and obviously what they call this, I put myself that this was given to us, so we have to prepare physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In a sense that we pray all the time, that we know that as I said, God never make mistakes. This was given to us because we know that something that I always say anyway. This is just a storm. After the storm, the sun will smile again. You know, in every problem there is a solution and there's an end. That's the thing that I always keep on holding on. And aside from that, every time I look at my kids, you know, they're my inspirations. You look at them and say, and especially my little boy who's very cheeky, he always calls me his hero. And the definition of a hero is that an individual, an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. And I know this is one of the obstacles that we have to endure, and I have to inspire them, and I have to carry them through that wellness. Yung sinasabi na hindi kami magiging COVID fatalities, magiging COVID survivors kami. And we did. Kailangan pa lang i-claim mo na nagagaling ka.
Okay, fantastic. Na-disconnect ako ng konti. May medyo gap doon sa interview natin, Junjun, but I was listening to you intently. As we speak, kasi na umuubo-ubo ka pa ngayon, ano? Have you had COVID test? Are you COVID-free now? Can you say that?
2 weeks positive. 2 weeks we were still COVID positive, but obviously these are remnants. It was explained to us that we will always be COVID positive, or not always be, but we will be positive at least a few months or few weeks. So, but
But does it mean because you're a nurse, pati si Cindy ay nurse, at alam mo yung mga sakit na nakakahawa lalo na sa pulmonary, no, yung related to pulmonary diseases. So at that point nakakahawa pa ba yung COVID?
yes,
So yung ikaw, are you still self-isolating with your family?
this is the thing. We don't fully understand the transmission of this COVID-19, although we understand the virus more than before when it first came out. But we do understand that it can be transmitted through aerosol, can be transmitted through droplet nuclei or droplet, and can be transmitted through surfaces. So putting mask and one hand washing and social distancing is very important. So those are the things. But then again, we don't know if it's airborne. I very likely that it's airborne. And we know people who has got it can start spreading it even before they get sick. So Teo might have it already, not knowing until the time that we suspected that he had it because he had fever. So maybe yung nagkaroon na siya nun bago pa man. So at this very moment, I don't know. We haven't been tested until since 2 weeks time. I will get tested again because I'm still having cough, and but it's getting better. It's getting better actually.
Junjun, actually, obviously, pinakikinggan ko yung narration mo, no? I mean, kung sabi mo, respiratory, pero tuloy-tuloy yung pagsasalita mo, sa tingin ko parang hindi ka nahirapan, although umuubo-ubo ka ng konti. Yung bang ubo, ano yan, may plema ba ang ubo ng COVID?
This is the cough that I'm is dry cough at the moment. But at that, if maybe not with me or not with my kids or Cindy, we didn't have any phlegm or walang productive cough. Kasi pag nagkaroon ka na ng productive cough, parang chest infection pneumonia na yun, papunta na yun doon. Yun yung talagang mahihirapan ka na huminga. Pero there were times that I felt that I was having a chest pain, and I know that chest pain is related to chest infections or pneumonia, because there's a correlation between the lungs and the heart, which your LB function will go down, and then your myocardium will die, which you don't know. You even thought that you're healthy and you don't have history of heart failure or anything like that, or heart problem.
Pero, kahit minsan pare, hindi kayo napasok ng ospital.
Muntik na there were times that I felt na hindi na ako makabangon, at saka kakaroon ako ng chest pain, yung parang akala ko. But we are equipped here in our house. We got a SATS machine, we got our blood pressure machine, and obviously the thermometer. And as I said, my friend is always in contact with us. So isang tawag lang, sasabihin niya sa akin, no, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. I'll tell you when you're okay to go to the hospital. So maraming salamat talaga at hindi kami naging grabe.
Oo. Junjun, alam mo, maswerte kayo kasi pareho kayong nurse ni Cindy, at yung support group ninyo dyan sa Brighton ay also mga nurses na makakapagbigay sa inyo ng advice on how to deal with it. Anong mga pag-iingat, lalo na sa dalawa ninyong anak, sa inyong mag-asawa. Pero yung ibang kababayan natin ay hindi kasing swerte ninyo having that support group, ano? So, siguro bilang panghuli, dahil umabot na tayo sa 20 minutes at napakadami mong na-share sa amin in that period. Thank you very much. ano pa yung ibibigay mong payo sa ating mga kababayan na nakikinig ngayon? This is the second lockdown for England. You know, pataas ang cases, over 1 million cases in the UK and over 47,000 deaths. So hindi po ito biro, bumabalik tayo doon sa bumalik tayo sa lockdown. So kailangan seryosohin natin ang pag-iingat ngayong 4 na linggo ng lockdown. What will be your parting message at saka yung payo mo sa mga kababayan natin?
Lovely. So I am the living example of COVID-19. The good news is that we know now that the people can fight off this infection and they end up with an immune response. Hindi po immunity, immune response lang. So yung immune response na sinasabi ko can be good for few months or few weeks. So you can get infected the second time around. This can be associated like your seasonal flu, and the only thing that you can get for this flu or this COVID-19 is a vaccine, which we don't have. In general, vaccines are developed within 15 to 18 years, and the shortest vaccine that were developed was in 1960, which is the mumps vaccine for 5 years. For 4 years, and Ebola virus was developed in 5 years time. So we are heading for a very bad trail. Kumbaga, talagang problema to, is a tragedy. Kasi hindi basta-basta tayo maghahangad na sana dumabas ang vaccine. Okay, provided na ito na technology, modern technology, then they can lessen and fasten the development of new vaccine 12 to 18 months, and it's coming soon, which they keep saying. But don't you worry that merong mga side effects ito, mga tipong ganon. So I always say that prevention is better than cure, but there is no cure.
Yes,
So all you have to do is prevent it from getting it. So take it from me, it's really hard to get this, and it will kill you.
Jun, may isa lang akong maikling question, ano? Kasi sabi mo kanina, talagang may mga preparations kayo, may mga sinabi ka na obviously psychologically, physically, spiritually, no? Pero buti na lang walang nangyaring masama, no? Pero kung may nangyari, ba ikaw nawala ka, anong preparasyon ang ginawa nyo para sa pamilya? Para kung nangyari yun, naka-ready ang lahat.
You see, I don't pray that I don't get COVID. I don't pray that sana mawala na to. I pray for strength to endure this difficult COVID. So life is full of challenges that are supposed to be not to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. And I took it na sabi ko, kung may mangyari sa ating masama or whatsoever, then sabi ko nga, God never makes mistakes. Binigay sa iyo yun eh. Then tanggapin mo. Nothing is okay at the moment, so it's okay. Hindi lang ikaw, maraming tao pa ang nangyari o kaya nawalan ng nanay o tatay o ng mga relatives. So it's okay. All you have to do is just deal with it. You know, COVID is a disaster, but losing hope is worse. So maintain your hope. Na alam mo na merong patutunguhan itong maganda. So we don't develop courage by being happy every day. So you know, you know me all the time. I'm a happy person. We develop it by surviving with difficult times and challenging adversities like this. So I think my parting words to all the people who's listening to this #1 show is, I promise myself that I will not succumb to the pain and drop out of the challenges with this COVID-19, and I will leave you with my one of my best friends' favorite quote, that life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. So as I said, kung marapati mong sagutin yung tanong mo, kung kung hindi kami pinagpala dito sa COVID, then so be it. This is life. We have to deal with it. But you have to maintain your hope, your faith, and be courageous enough to deal with it. And
Okay.
I know you will succeed.
Maraming salamat.
On that note,
Mm-mm.
mabuhay ka, Junjun Medran, at ang lahat ng Filipino nurses sa United Kingdom. Thank you for sharing your story. At nabanggit mo ang typhoon. Stay tuned dahil po sa segment 2 ay makakasama po natin ang Philcom leaders dito sa United Kingdom para naman po sa Tabang Bicol. Magbabalik mo kami. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Papa.
Okay.